Well, first things first, I want to apologize to everybody on the previous episode. What I said about this coming episode right now. I mentioned we're going to continue with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I thought we are going to continue more with World Tag League, but turns out I was wrong. So, my mistake. So, we are going to continue with Best of the Super Juniors with Day 7. We're also going to review AEW Dark Elevation, and then finally a past event by British promotion RevPro Risky Business. Now this is the event before Ricky Knight Jr. lost the British heavyweight title to none other than Will Ospreay. So let's get started with another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Gerard here. So, let's begin with the latest New Japan Pro Wrestling with the Best of the Super Juniors. Once again, it opened up with, the Young Lions taking on each other, and this time it's Koze Fujita and Rohi Oiwa, and once again, very impressive. And every time they're in the Boston Crab, we always jump into the time limit draw. Now, I have to say, it's okay, but these guys are improving. Now, let's get into the Best of the Super Juniors matches. This is day 7 on this one. First match, we have Doiki versus Ryosuke Taguchi. I have to say, it was a very funny opening entrance by Taguchi, almost trying to pretend he's Doiki, using some sort of toy pipe that he brings out. But Doiki did not find that amusing. But however, it was a pretty good, impressive match because it showed how Taguchi, even though people can say he needs to spend less time having fun and more time wrestling, but it worked. But however, he actually outsmarted Doiki when he put him in that submission move. I don't know what he calls it, but he actually pulled it off to win himself a really good match. So I'm proud of it. Next match, we got Bushi taking on Robbie Eagles. Now, this was also a very impressive match. As you know, Robbie Eagles is trying to get back in the game to be IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion once again. But this time he pulled off another amazing victory when he put Bushi in the Ron Miller special, and bam, he had no other choice but to tap out. Next up, we got Taiji Shimori taking on Yo. I have to say, it was a good match, but however, it was an upset by Yo to win the match. I did not expect him to do it, but he did. He got out of this one and he won. Now, speaking of Yo, his tag team partner was in the next match against Master Wato. This particular match fell in favor in Sho because, as you know, since joining the Bullet Club, he's been nothing but cheating using the monkey wrench and all this other stuff to ensure he wins. And of course, it played out pretty well. And that's how he cheats. And just to let you guys know, he's still in the lead. And finally, then the next one we have Kanemaru and Desperado taking on each other. This is a Suzuki-gun showdown, which it's more intensified. Now, Kanemaru was against the idea of challenging Despy, but Despy, he doesn't care. He wants to get this done over with, regardless of what the situation is. But someone had to come out as the winner. That's the whole point. But it was Despy who pulled it off. Once again, when he put Kanemaru in when he rolled him up, and boom, that's how he won. And finally, our last match, we have El Fantasmo taking on Hiromu Takahashi. Now, as you know, there has been a lot of speculations about Phantasmo with the sudden death kick. Um, Hiromu doesn't trust him, so they investigated completely. However, that wasn't the case. It turns out that he did load up, or he found another shoe that had the actual one. I don't know. He went under the ring for that, and boom, took out Hiromu, and that was it. So practically, El Fantasma won, but he did give a strong promo that he wants Jay White to be there when the day he believes he should win it. But we'll see what happens then. But now let's look at the point system. We got Taguchi with 4 wins, 3 losses with 8 points. Master Wato, 4 points with 2 wins and 5 losses. Robbie Eagles, 3 wins, 4 losses with 6 points. Yo, 3 wins and 4 losses with 6 points. Hiromu, 3 wins, 3 losses, and a draw, which is 7 points. Bushi, 3 wins and 4 losses, 6 points. Uh, Desbury, 4 wins, 2 losses, and a draw, so that's 9 points. Kanemaru, 4 wins and 4 losses, 8 points. Um, Doiki, 2 wins and 5 losses, 4 points. Taiji Shimori, 4 wins and 3 losses, 8 points. El Fantasmo, 4 wins and three, no, 4 losses and 4 wins, 6 points. And of course, Sho, who's currently in the lead with 6 wins and 1 loss. So basically, he is in the lead. But like I mentioned before, anything could happen from here on out. We don't know what's going to take place, but we'll be apprised to follow everything what's going on in the best of the Super Juniors. But now it's time to do AEW Dark Elevation. Okie dokie, so we got AEW Dark Elevation. Opening match, we have an incredible 8 woman tag team match. We had Ami Sakura, Diamante, The Bunny, and Nyla Rose being accompanied by both Mei Shiruga and Vicky Guerrero to take on um, Ryo Mizunami, Layla Hirsch, Sky Blue, and Julia Hart. Now, this was a very unusual team, but it did help a little bit. But however, Julia was the one who got the receiving end of the Beast Bomb, allowing her and the rest of her team to win the match. Next up, we got Tay J, better known as Tay Conti and Anna J, taking on Alice Cromley, and Misa Kate. I have to say, it was a good match. Not to mention, uh, Tay Conti continues to impress us with his skills no matter what, allowing for her and Anna to pick up a really nice victory. Now, speaking of tag team, we got Santana Ortiz taking on Braden Lee and who was it? Azale Moore, as always, with their amazing combination moves in order to finish everything. That plays out pretty well. So they'll win this match. Next up, we got the Premier Alley taking on Vic Capri. Now, Tony Nese's eyes now is on the prize, which is the TNT title. Hope Sammy's watching because you're going to need it when you challenge him. But it was Tony Nese that won with his athletic skills, as always. Next up, we got AJ Foe, Isaiah Cassidy, The Blade, and Mart Hardy taking on Dark Order, Allen Five Angels, Stu Grayson, and Evil Uno. Great match. It did show a lot of more character, but however, Five ended up being the weakest link of the group to ensure for Matt Hardy to pick up the victory with the twist of fate, but he also got help from Isaiah Cassidy, that insecurity in the back of his head. Next up, we got Jay Lethal taking on Trenton Storm. What a match. It showed more about Jay Lethal, but he finished off Trenton with, the lethal injection. Ugh, ugh, awesome. Next up, our main event is the Varsity Blondes, Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison, along with Julia Hart, teaming with the Dark Order, Alex Reynolds and John Silver, which is a separate tag team within the Dark Order, which is great. But they're taking on against Chaos Project, Luther and Serpentico, against the Acclaim, Max Caster, and Anthony Bowens. But you cannot deny the powerness of Johnny Hungy. And of course, he was the one who put Serpentico in the spin doctor, allowing himself to win this match with the 1, 2, 3, and that's all she wrote, folks. So I'm pretty happy with it, but right now I have to say, let's move forward with RevPro Risky Business. All right, so this is a RevPro event. This is prior before Ricky Knight Jr. challenged to unify both his title and Will Ospreay's title in one. This is called Risky Business. This took place on the 4th of September, which is not that far long, but it is to us. But let's just move forward with the first match they opened up with was Kid Lycos taking on Robbie X. These are two guys that are right now on the hunt for a chance at the Cruiserweight title. But to me, I feel Robbie Eagles is the one who earned it more. He made his presence known, ability, what he could do, and that's exactly what he did. He is embracing that. Excuse me. Next up, we got Dan Maloney taking on Doug Williams. Doug Williams, we all know him from the invasion back in TNA, but him being involved in this was great. I have to say, it showed a lot of character, but however, it was Dan Maloney's powerness that put away Doug Williams out of commission, and boom, winning this match. The next match, we have Yota Tsuji taking on Kyle Fletcher. I have to say, this was one of those matches we definitely could talk about all day if you want. But there was a lot of eyes on this match, especially Gideon Gray. But Tsuji came up short. But once again, he's being asked by the Legion to join the ranks. He hasn't said a word at all. Next up, we got the Legion. Chris Ridgway taking on Mark Haskins to take on the Young Guns, Luke Jacobs and Ethan Allen. I have to say, it was a pretty good match. I have to say, Young Guns are like most likely the upcoming team that could look like it could win the tag titles, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Um, Next up, we got a six-way scramble match: Braden White versus Adam Markston versus Connor Mills versus J.J. Gale versus Callum Newman versus Kid Locust 2. I have to say it's a pretty good match. Anything is possible. But Brandon Lee, who has been making a lot of headways in Rev Pro, seems promising, but he was viciously attacked by Sean Jackson, uh, because of their constant interference when they're trying to deal with Giselle Shaw. But that's how it is. Our next match, we have, of course, the Rev Pro Undisputed Women's Championship between um, Lizzie Evo and Giselle Shaw. Great match. I love Giselle. Giselle's great. She's a capable wrestler. Uh, I don't know. I feel like there's more she can do, but I'm excited what they can do for her. But right now, I had to say let's move forward. The next, but she did retain the title. In case you're wondering, Giselle Shaw retained the title. I'm very happy for that. Now our last match is Screwface Ahmed taking on Ricky Knight Jr. It just showed he is ready for anything, and I just enjoy it. But however, Ricky Knight actually got himself picked up by Legion trying to pick him apart, but no avail. He actually got out of it, and Dan Lambert can complain whatever he wants, but that's what's up. But however, in this particular match, is Gideon Gray who cries, but we'll see what happens then. So I think that's pretty much it I got for all of you. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Coming up, we got more on New Japan Pro Wrestling with World Tag League, and hopefully we got NWA. If that's the case, as you know, this coming Saturday or Sunday, it's Hard Times 2. And then, of course, we got AEW Dark. And then finally, we got NXT 2.0. So I'm looking forward to review all of those. But for now, I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah, and have a nice day. Bang.